really strengthen up background checks.
I want to bring into this debate Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters, who served in the Army, a decorated soldier himself, but he drew the line in an editorial that is getting worldwide attention about these type of weapons that have been used in a lot of these attacks, including the one in Florida, on automatic weapons. The colonel said, "As I write these lines, remember that the Tower musket behind me and the Colt on my desk," talking about a long family history. "But I believe on moral grounds and constitutional grounds, no private citizen should own automatic weapons." The Lieutenant Colonel joins us right now. Ralph, your argument was if you really want to use these weapons, you conclude by saying just join the Marines. They'll pay you to do it.
Yeah, or the U.S. Army.
Explain.
And well, first of all, I got to say, I don't consider myself a decorated soldier. My decorations are on a Christmas tree. But I did serve, and I served proudly, and I know what these weapons can do. And Neil, I support the Second Amendment. I do not support the cherry picking of it that we're seeing right now. We can talk about that if you wish. But the bottom line is this. I'm a gun owner. I know guns. My family's a gun family, going way back. But these weapons, AR-15 and all, and similar weapons, are not for sporting purposes. You don't take them hunting because they're meant to tear bodies apart. They tear up the meat. They're lousy for target shooting. They're not even good for defending your home in the middle of the night against an intruder. For that, you want a pump-action shotgun. That will definitely deter the burglar. But the purpose of the AR-15 series weapons is to kill and maim human beings. That's it. That is what the M16 series rifles were designed for our military. And they certainly kill, but beyond that, when a round from an AR-15 hits you, if it can go in your hip and it's spinning and it can come out your shoulder. It's meant to just tear the body apart so that the wounded person can't get up and fight again. And so, to me, having those weapons in civilian hands is absolute madness. And by the way, those 4 deputies that didn't go into the school, I think I can tell you what happened. They're outside with handguns, and they're hearing that semi-automatic fire inside. Pop, 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 pop. It's like going in there with bare hands. And, these semi-automatic weapons, the AR-15, even without a bump stock, without any modifications, it fires 45 rounds a minute. Now think about that. When the Founding Fathers when James Madison and the others, they wrote the Bill of Rights, wonderfully written and wonderfully important. When they wrote them, the best weapon available in the United States of America, or the colonies, was a Kentucky long rifle, which could fire 2 rounds a minute with a range of 100 to 200 yards. The infantry weapon at the time was the Brown Bess musket. A trained soldier could fire 3 rounds a minute with a range of 50 to 100 yards. The AR-15 has a range of 600 yards, 45 rounds a minute. You put a bump stock on it, it's several hundred rounds a minute. Why on earth should we have weapons that kill children? They're used. The AR-15 is used again and again. It's the weapon of choice.
But a lot of people have AR-15s that never use them on kids or on individuals, and a lot of people who knew that I was going to have you on today had been saying, please ask Colonel Peters whether he wants to come to my home and grab my AR-15. You say what?
It's pathetic that we have to get to that level. It's pathetic that we're so wrapped up around AR-15s that we don't want to protect children. I mean, this is the weapon of choice for Las Vegas, for Texas school, for the Texas church shooting, for several other things. And, in a perfect world, we would be able to tell exactly who can use these weapons, who's sane, who's not. And just, by the way, when I wrote that article, when I'm coming in here today, I know my position is unpopular with many Fox viewers, but it is a moral issue. It is an ethical issue. It is about dead children, about dead law-abiding citizens. And by the way, whenever people talk about the Second Amendment, they skip 2 things. One, I've gotten messages since yesterday, all these people trying to tell me the part in the Second Amendment about the well-regulated militia, that doesn't matter. Well, you can't cherry pick it. And by the way, Neil, when it talks about the right to bear arms, it says the right to bear arms It doesn't say firearms. So in theory, if you're a literalist, that could give a citizen the right to have a nuclear weapon or artillery or a landmine. Great to keep the neighbor's kids off your grass. We already use rational logic to ban machine guns. Machine guns are banned, have been banned. Since the 1930s, really.
But would you advocate, given your strong position on these type of weapons, confiscating the ones that are out there?
No. No, I don't believe in weapons confiscations. What I would like to see is preferably a ban on semi-automatic weapons that can be converted one way or another to automatic fires. But if not that, then much more stringent background checks, much more so, and certainly bump stocks and that sort of thing has to be banned. But I think we need to stop politicizing this and look at the victims, those kids. Don't they matter?
Ralph Peters, thank you very much. Good seeing you.
Don't forget to click subscribe. It's almost as satisfying as skip ad.